Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent Yalton. And yes, round 11 is done and dusted now, and this is the review episode where I'll go through every game and rank them all on a tier list. Some interesting matches that we had, some blowouts happening that we had as I just pull up the rest of the games. But yeah, so obviously in this one, we'll go over every game, go over the Supercoach, and go over the Supercoach and just recap everything. So without further ado, let's get into the round 11 review, kicking off with a Thursday night game. Thursday night, we saw Geelong take on the Western Bulldogs in the return of Bailey Smith. Well, the return, of him against the Bulldogs. It was such a build-up, a lot of theatre going on, and I was really surprised that no one went to him. They sent Matt Kennedy to him at the centre bounce. I thought Liberatore would have lined up on him and given him something, but maybe that's just a theory to me. But there was absolutely nothing. I was a bit disappointed. But Geelong did get the job done by 14 points, and Bailey Smith starred with 33 disposals, 6 clearances, 7 tackles, and 810 metres gain. The tall forwards were way too much for the Bulldogs to handle, with Cameron kicking 6, 4 in the first half, and Shannon Neal also kicking 5. Obviously, no Liam Jones down there. It was up to James O'Donnell and Roy Lobb, who James O'Donnell has been really good these last few weeks, playing as the number one key with Roy Lobb, but they just got a hold of them there, but they were just too much to handle. Cats came out firing in the second term, kicking 6 unanswered goals, and pretty much ever since then, the Bulldogs did try and fight back, but they were always just seen to be one step behind. One thing I do love seeing too, we saw the Max Holmes running goal, unbelievable goal, taking 3 bounces, and that's why I like him playing purely as a midfielder. We saw him getting tagged a little bit, and then they started pushing him to half back, half forward, to a wing, but I think Max Holmes purely needs to stay in the midfield. Beautiful use of the ball alongside Bailey Smith, but he has that extra class going inside forward 50. I just think he's too valuable to hide off a half back line. I think he needs to be in the source and getting that ball going inside forward 50, runs all day, and I think he's such a valuable player in Max Holmes. Max Holmes and Bailey Smith together in that midfield. Whoo, watch out. As for the rankings, I'm going to put Geelong in excellent and the Bulldogs in contenders. Purely the Bulldogs, it was a really good game, but purely the Bulldogs, they kicked 16-17, 113 to the Cats 27, 127. That's the difference in the game. 27 to 33 scoring shots. Bulldogs' favour. Yet they went down. So that's the reason why they won. They lost in the end. So they only had themselves to blame. Friday night was the Dreamtime matchup. It wasn't a great spectacle. We saw some great performances like Merritt and Martin having it on a string. Martin was the BOG for me, 35 disposals, 83% efficiency, and 2 goals. Also 6 clearances. He's just, you can put him anywhere. You put him half back, half forward, wing, in midfield, and he just gets his job done. That's what's so impressive about him. Archie Roberts is one who's really coming on too, with 34. He's really looking good. So it was the Bowlers who got the job done by 23 points. Another great sighting. We're seeing Angus Clark on debut, kicked 3 goals in the first half. Looked really, really solid by all means against a Richmond defence, but nonetheless, 3 goals in the first half on your debut, and the post-match interview with his dad was quality. If you haven't seen that, make sure to go back and watch that. So Angus Clark, big tick there for the selection of him, and I think he's got a really good player. Just love the laid-back country vibe that he's got, and just has a crack, and just someone who loves playing footy. You can see it on his face. But the bad news coming out of it was Zach Reid, hamstring tightness, came off. They didn't want to risk him, obviously, with his history. And that just leaves, if he doesn't play, I assume they won't play him for a couple of weeks. Leaves them very short down the back. Kyle, with Ben Mackay, Cal Toomey reporting today, will not play this week. They're waiting to hear more on the how long it will be for. But that just leaves them very short down back. So Jane Lavuto has a big task for him to settle. Is it a Peter Wright that has to swing back or something? I don't know what they're going to do there, but it's going to be interesting. But Kyle Langford also went down with a quad. Doesn't help their forward line. So maybe by all means why it shows why Peter Wright can't go back. But that back line is going to be in some strife for the next few weeks, or at least next week. Thompson Dow did a knee, and Lawler, also the number 1 draft, he did a hamstring. So wasn't great to see, but Tim Taranto has probably just kicked goal of the year at the moment. It was an enormous goal. He was shocked in his own how he did it himself. But But he's shocked by that he did it himself. You can see it in his face, but it was just a great goal, and I think it's the front runner for the goal of the year at the moment. As for the rankings, I think they just both going decent because it wasn't a great Friday night match. But great game, Dreamtime match, great moment, but it wasn't what you want on a Friday night, in my opinion. Saturday, we started off with Carlton and the Giants, and Toby Green reminded us why he's more than just a forward. He can easily be a number one midfielder or a pure midfielder. That's what he was in his first few years, and then he's pushed forward. Had to go inside for his 250th game, and they got the job done for him, and he was the best on ground for that performance. He kicked 3, had 28 disposals and 6 clearances. They got the job done by 28 points, as I mentioned. Curnow kicked the 3. Hogan kicked 4. Cal Brown popped up for 3. I love Cal Brown when he's up and going. Elite speed, has a good mark. Riccardi, he's been in and out lately, Brown, so it's good to see him put a performance like that together. Riccardi kicked 3 as well. Ash continued his form of 28 7 rebound 50s, but as I mentioned, it was Toby Green, who was the best on ground in that performance. And for those performances, I think the Giants can they go in excellent? I think they can go in excellent purely for the way they play, and Carlton can just go in decent because it wasn't. Can they go? No, they can go in decent. They can go. I was thinking about disappointing for a second, but wasn't a terrible outcome for them, in my personal opinion. Hawthorn v Brisbane. Now, Hawthorn, for me, that's disappointing straight off the bat. Going down by 33 points to Brisbane. Brisbane showing why their best can match it with the best teams in the comp. Obviously, last year winning the flag, they were coming in as the favourite. If you win the flag, you're always the favourite to come in back-to-back. But their best, I think it's between them, Collingwood, and a Geelong. And just one thing on the Giants, but before that, I forgot to mention, they have to be one of the most frustrating teams. Picked them for the flag in my preseason predictions, and they're just choosing when they want to turn up. If they can put that all together, watch out. But Hawthorn, very disappointing. I think their backline is in real big strife. Tom Barrass, for what they got him for, isn't living up to what it was. Josh Battle's been solid, but ever since them two have stepped into that backline, their defense structure hasn't looked steady or settled at all. It's kind of left James Sicily in a no man's land, not knowing what's his best spot, and he's not performing to the standards. And it just doesn't look as steady and stable as it did last year. James Sicily being their best ball user off halfback, and it just hasn't been up to that this year as the captain. But one player for the Brisbane Lions who was the player of the final series probably in last year and just consistently gets the job done, shows what a valuable player he is. Cal Archie gets it done with 20 disposals and 4 goals. Really liked his game. And Charlie Cameron reminded us what a star player and X factor he can be. In a 5-minute window, he kicked 3 goals and put the nail in the coffin on that game. It was good to see. Charlie Cameron's had a really quiet season to date, but it was good to see him just show us and bring the Harley out why he's so highly ranked as the small forward in the competition and player in general. It was just a good reminder. I'm hoping that's a start that can get him some confidence to really have a good second half of the season. Zorko was also enormous with 33, 7 rebound 50s at 996 metres gained. And I'm loving Will Ashcroft with 26 and 8 clearance, but would love to see him kick the ball a bit more. I think he only had about 100 odd metres gained. So I think he's really classy with the ball, makes really good decisions. So I'd like to see him just back his kicking a little bit more. Might be a bit picky, but that's just my opinion in that one. Brisbane, excellent, just purely for the fact that when they turn on their best, it's just really good to see. And the one stat that Sam Mitchell would not like to look back on is that 9 players of his team did not lay a tackle. That just can't happen. So Hawthorn have to go back to the drawing board and try and bounce back. I said it previously. I don't think this is a year for them. I think it's more next year. Let the new recruits settle in and get in and get another year into your Watsons, your Wards. I'd like to see Henry Husway play a bit more. But yeah, like that, Ken McKenzie, those type of players, and just, yeah, I think they're one star midfielder short and they're one key forward short. Mario Chol's done the best he can at the moment. Jack Gunston is doing really well. He's kept quiet on the weekend, but he's only getting older, so yeah, just some things to think about there at Hawthorn for the second half of the season. Saturday night was the Kangaroos v the Pies, and it was the Pies who got the job done by 45 points over the Kangaroos. Zurhaar continues his really good form, kicking 3. I'm really impressed with the way he's come out this year. But Jamie Elliott has to be in conversation for mid-season All-Australian team, especially these last 4 to 6 weeks. He kicked 5, but I hope this is not just... I hope this is... what's the word I'm trying to think of? I hope this can be a consistent, because I quite frankly recall saying this time last year that, he's the All-Australian small forward, and then he went a bit quiet. So I'd love to see, he doesn't have to be kicking 5 every week. 2 to 3 a week, or 2 a week, and just tackling pressure. That's when Jamie Elliott's at his best. Memory's been such a good pickup for the Pies, just adding a different dimension down there. He kicked 3. But one player from North Melbourne I was really impressed with was Riley Hardiman. Now, we haven't seen much of Riley Hardiman, picked up as a first-round draft pick in 2023, running half-back. He was everywhere and was really impressed with his game. 28 disposals, going at 82%, 10 marks and 776 metres gained. So possibly, I hope he can use that confidence, and I hope Clarko can back him in to play for the rest of the year now, because I really like the way he used the ball and ran and carried with it. So I think they might have found one there, I'm hoping, at least. Nick Dacos was enormous in the second half, kept quiet in the first half, only to 10 disposals, and came out and had 28 in the second half, including 17 in the last quarter. So he had 5 clearances, 12 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, and 12 score runs, going 736 metres gained. Josh Dacos, with 31, was also good, but the best on ground by a country mile was Ned Long. 29 disposals, 6 clearances, 14 tackles, 2 goal assists, and 15 score bombs. He's kind of just come out of nowhere, Ned Long. Picked up in the mid-season draft, I believe it was, last year for the Pies, after being delisted by the Hawks. Didn't see something in him. Pies saw something in him. They backed him in. But the debate I want to have is, with the performance that Ned Long is having and the impact and value he's having on this Collingwood side and Collingwood midfield, I don't see Tom Mitchell getting back in the side this year. And that's really that's really, really a harsh call to say, but you can't play Tom Mitchell and Ned Long in the same team. They're too much of the same player. They're the in and under player. It's harsh to say, because Tom Mitchell is a Brownlow medalist. He's had such a good career. Knows how to find the ball. Just coming back from injury, playing a couple of VFL games now, but you can't play him at the same time, and there is no reason, no case you could put forward to me why he gets a spot over Ned Long. There's just no case at all. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see Mitchell, but I don't think we'll see Mitchell for the rest of the year unless something dramatic does happen. But one thing that did happen was they wouldn't have liked to see Braden Maynard go down with what's the injury again? I had trouble saying it. I always have trouble saying it. Plantar we'll go with that. Plantar almost sounds like pistachio peanut. But he looks to be out for about 2 to 6 weeks. But Collingwood, for me, for the way they put the foot down, go in excellent. But North Melbourne on my board, so we'll just quickly chuck North Melbourne on my tier list. Sorry, guys. I must have skipped over North Melbourne as I was adding the teams. But North Melbourne can go in decent because they were in it for 3 quarters. It was just Collingwood who just ran over the top of them in the end. The other game was a bit of a boring one between Fremantle and Port Adelaide. And it was the Dockers who got the job done by 49 points, 15-10. I'm just going to have to go to the toilet. Apologies, guys. Yeah, wasn't a great game. Port Adelaide are in some real big troubles, I think. So 49 points, the Freo got done. I've said it before, but I'm so impressed with Murphy Reid. Had a couple of quiet weeks, but he's come back and kicked 4 goals, gone with 18 disposals. He's going to be a star, this kid. Really like Isaiah Dudley. Just something always happens around him. Has that bit of electricity and a bit of X factor about him. Bit of inside the 450. It looks like when he's around, he can create something from nothing. So it's always good to see those type of players. Georgie Ayres kicked 3 for the Power as well. One player I want to say is Connor Rosie. It's all good getting 27 disposals, but I'd love to see him get some more impact on the game. It's probably a bit harsh as a skipper, but I think he's just not using it as much, and I'd love to see him. Maybe he needs to go back in that midfield, especially with the likes of them out, with Horn Francis out. But I'd just love to see him get a bit more impact on the game. It's all good getting 27 disposals and 6 tackles. But just a bit more impact in the game. He's too quality of a player to be leaving a half-back to not getting that much of an impact on the game. Rory Atkins returned, and I don't know why he doesn't get more games sometimes. 25 disposals at 80% efficiency. He was really good for them. So as we go through the rankings here, we go through the rankings. Where are we? Here. Freo, they have to go in excellent for that. Do they? No, okay. No, I'm going to chuck them in contenders. I'm not going to get too on them. And Port Adelaide, 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. They're just really, really, really poor. We move over to the Sunday games, and it's Adelaide v West Coast, and Adelaide get the job done by 66 points on their home deck, and it's thanks to a 5-goal haul from Josh Rochelle. It was really good to see. Josh Rochelle has so much talent. Teases us sometimes for the talent he has, and it's good to see him put it all together in a game. He was enormous. Jordan Dawson continues his massive form. He kicked 2 to go on with 27 disposals. Jake Waterman kicked 3, but it was a really sad sight to see him go down. Go down with an injury in the late games of the shoulder. Was taken to hospital. Wasn't able to fly home last night. So they're waiting for the scans to come back, but that's not one player you want going down for the West Coast Eagles. He's such a pivotal moment. I'm still loving Brady Hoff through that midfield. He kicked a goal again. And I love the fact that they gave us Sam Berry a bit, some more game time. 26 disposals. He had 81% efficiency, a goal and 9 tackles. He's just that inner under grunt for the Adelaide Crows. But Adelaide Crows definitely, without a doubt, they are in the excellent comment for that performance and a really impressive performance. West Coast Eagles, are they disappointing? Oh, they're just going to have to go 66 points. It has to be disappointing. Especially when you look at it, Adelaide only led by 4 points midway through the second quarter, but then opened the game wide open, kicking 10 of the next 12 goals. So, yeah, that has to go in disappointing. Another one was Riley O'Brien was dominant in the ruck. 45 hit-outs, 18 disposals, 12 score vomits, and a goal. So, a big game there for Riley O'Brien. The penultimate game of the round saw the Demons get up over the Sydney Swans by 53 points, and Melbourne can go straight into excellent column for that one. Sydney Swans straight in the 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, but purely one of them was, I think Kozzie Pickett's one of the most exciting players in the AFL right now. The amount of potential and X factor he's had and now is showing after being injected into the midfield is amazing to see. If you're a Melbourne supporter or you're a supporter of footy in general, Kozzie Pickett's the type of player you buy tickets to go and watch and see. Since being injected into the midfield, 5 goals for, 24 disposals, 6 clearances. He just has everything. He runs both ways, tackles hard, hits the scoreboard. He's one of, I can't describe to you how much of an impressive performance and impressive season Kozzie Pickett's having after Simon Goodwin finally said, all right, now let's have a look at you as giving you more centre bounce midfield time, and he's been really impressive and returned the favour to Simon Goodwin. So yeah, as I mentioned, he kicked the 5. Clayton Oliver was back. He's been all right, but he had 31 disposals, a goal, 12 tackles. But the thing that I want to say is he's the one who closed the door, nailed the coffin. Put the nail in the coffin, is what I should say, on the game when he kicked that goal to seal it. And what was so much more impressive was how happy he looked, laughing, smiling. But the players all got around him. They knew how much this meant to him. And then he was embraced when he got to the bench. Trent Rivers, first one, Simon Goodwin and Harvey Langford all give him a hug and smiling, just looking like he's back enjoying footy. It was such a touching moment. Because let's not beat around the bush. Clayton Oliver 3 years ago was one of the best players in the competition. Now, he's gone through some struggles. It's well documented how much he's gone through his struggles. But to see him out there enjoying footy like he was on the weekend was just beautiful to see. And the way Melbourne came in there and embraced it was so good. Could Melbourne make a late surge for the 8? Still so much time to go, but they're looking like they're kicking. Forward line's still a bit of a question for me, but if Kozzie Pickett can do that, it won't be as much question. But Jake Melksham is an undersized forward, but it looks like they're using him as their key forward at the moment. Bailey Fritsch with the 2. I think the Demons might be coming, as much as it hurts to say sometimes, but yeah. Cal Mills returned with 7 disposals and a goal after his shoulder injury in pre-season last year. But he might be in trouble for his high bump on Charlie Spargo. They'll be taken to the tribunal. We're waiting to hear results for that one. And the last game of the round, well, wasn't a very big, amazing one to close the game. It's a standard St Kilda game, close it in. But it was the Suns getting the job done by 19 points over the Saints. But the key role to the Suns winning this was Brodie Hewland's key role on the informed Jack Higgins. Now, Jack Higgins coming into this round was second in the Coleman, had 28 goals, and had gotten made Saints look decently good at stages in the competition. He was keeping them in games by consistently kicking goals and hitting the scoreboard. Brodie Hewland's in his second or third season. Yes, he was third in the BNF last year, but we can't undersell how much of an impressive performance this was and how much impact it has. Because if he doesn't play this role and Jack Higgins plays the way Jack Higgins has been playing this season, St Kilda win, and that's the bottom line. It's only a 3 point difference, three goal difference, sorry, at the end of the day, this game. So Brodie Hewland's role is the reason that they won the game, in my opinion. But yeah, there was other reasons too. Noah Anderson continues to show why he is one of the top midfielders and plays in the competition with 36 disposals and 11 clearances. Nsai Wanganeen-Malira continues 36 and a goal, 902 metres game, but let's not beat around the bush. He's probably not going to be there next year. He's going to go back home to Adelaide, and I don't know what the Saints are going to do. They built this team around him and Sinclair. They've allowed him to push up the ground a bit more. He's probably him and Sinclair their best user by foot, and they've just built this team around him. So when Wanganeen-Malira goes, where to for St Kilda? If St Kilda was a puzzle and there was 30 pieces, Nsai Wanganeen-Malira is at least 20 pieces of them, and that's a worry for me. So that's one thing I'll say on the Saints there. When he goes, what's next? Mac Andrew was helped off the field in the dying minutes of what seemed to be an ankle injury in his 50th game. There's no update on that, but there's no up down that as Mo. I hope he's okay. But speaking of Mac Andrew being a defender, Gold Coast Suns to me had the best half-back line, if not the best defence in the competition. John Noble's in All-Australian form. Darren Rioli adds that class. Has that class and speed. Brodie Hewland playing the lockdown role. Will Power down there. Sam Collins as that lockdown key defender. Mac Andrew down there. They're just so good. I could argue they're John Noble and Darren Rioli, the 2-1-2 of the half-backers there. Enormous. Then Will Power and Brodie Hewland doing their role. And Sam Collins and Mac Andrew. It's just impressive, and I'm all aboard the Gold Coast Suns train this season. They will play finals. How far they'll go, we don't know. I think the sky's the limit for them, though. So Gold Coast Suns contenders for that performance, and St Kilda will put them in decent. Now let's go look and have a look at the Supercoach for the Up the Guts competition. As we have a look here at the matches, we go to game day, Up the Guts comp. All right, so interesting Up the Guts week here as Riley's Wizard defeated Paul's Dallas domination by 6 points. Riley scoring 2,242. Zach's in it to win it with a win over Newcomb 23, 2,234 to 2,199. Mavs team 2,316 defeating Pint of Guinea by just 7 points. So some close matches this round. Bailey Sniff continues his undefeated. Jamie continues his undefeated season with the highest score of the round as well, 2,413 with a win over Max there at 2,264. Hock Tour, Will, 2,170, jumps off the bottom of the ladder to defeat Ginnivan and Tonic, 1,939. Churches of Parish with a win over Sinclair, and this one helps. This one I'm very proud of. Former co-host of the show, Connor, came up and loves his Supercoach. We talk about it all the time. He loves his Supercoach, rates himself very highly. But he hadn't played me yet. So he hit a roadblock and he played me because I got it done. 2,361 to 2,290. But in all seriousness, it was a really good head-to-head battle. And what stuffed him was he had Hugh Boxall, and Boxall was the sub. We both had Cooper Simpson, and, didn't really work there. But, it was a really good matchup, but it was just a little slight dig because I know he will be watching this. Now we'll have a look at the leaderboard for the comp. Okay, so I want to look at the top 8 all stay the same except for one spot. So Bailey Sniff stays First, Jamie, Maverick. Riley, Wizards, jumps up one spot to third. Connor goes down one spot to fourth. Newcomb, 23, fifth. Then it's Pine of Guinea, sixth. Seventh for myself, and eighth is in it to win it. Zach. Dylan, Churches of Paris, jumps up one spot to ninth. Brees Sinclair jumps down one spot to 10th. Dallas Domination stays in 11th. Hock Tour jumps up 2 spots from the bottom to 12th. Max Derrick jumps down 1 to 13th. And Ginnivan and Tonic jumps down 1 to 14th. Before we wrap it up, guys, let's go through the rankings that I did for round 11. So in the excellent column, I've got Geelong, GWS, Brisbane Lions, Collingwood, Adelaide and Melbourne. Contenders, I've got Western Bulldogs, Fremantle, Gold Coast Suns. Decent, I've got Essendon, Richmond, Carlton, North Melbourne and St Kilda. And in disappointing, so I got Hawthorn, West Coast and 5am St Kilda Beach. I got Port Adelaide and Sydney, both teams that need to start. They're both in big trouble in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, so why would I say in my opinion? They are both in big trouble. With Ken Hinkley's situation, Dean Cox scratching his head. It'll be interesting. There's a scenario where Sydney don't play finals this year, and that's really harsh to say, but it is definitely a possibility. Well, that's going to wrap it up today, guys. Thank you guys for listening and watching along. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on the video. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload, and hit the subscribe button. We're on the race to 200 subscribers to help me get to that. Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners, make sure you leave a like on this episode. Hit the follow button, turn the notification bell on, share it to a mate who you think might enjoy it, and hit the 5-star rating button so it can get out there. Would be very much appreciated. As I said, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys then.